Where's the Tommy Hilfiger? You guys really need to drop that one. Your name really isn't that weird. The pronunciation in your dialect is the only part that might sound weird to the American ear. My dialect? Dude, 420 million people speak Spanish. That's the second most spoken language in the world, man. My name is Ludwig Los da Silva. I think I have beaten you, and yeah, you have. That's right, it's that time of the week. I am Jaime Rivera. This is Pocketnow, and this is the Pocketnow Daily Recap for last week. So on Monday I asked you, what did you think about the Google Nexus 9 and the leaked photographs that we saw from the FCC as, yeah, it was leaked, it wasn't announced back then, and we have 291 comments, out of which Ahmed says, everyone would have loved that the Nexus 9 was metal constructed, but for a device that's big, it's going to be really heavy, and also the price is going to hit the roof. And, well, now that the product is out, they actually figured out a smarter way to do it. We do have the aluminum trim, and we do have the polycarbonate back. I do feel the design is cool. I hope you all agree. And Jean Samuel says, Nexus 9 is pretty much an insta-buy for me, and it is for a lot of people, though it's not the same figure as the Nexus 7. It was so impulsive to pay $200 for such a good tablet back then, but not the same with the Nexus 9. And War Machine 69 says, the Nexus tablet looks like a giant, bloated and stretched Nexus 5. That's kind of the idea. Then on Tuesday I asked you if you would prefer an iPad that ran OS X, as the rumors back then were that the iPad Pro was going to happen, and that we were getting this integrated operating system running OS X Yosemite and iOS, though not a hybrid. We have 609 comments, out of which ARM says OS X on an iPad would be extremely cool, and I think Apple would make the iPad Pro, hopefully, since Microsoft let people use complete Windows on tablets. Well, we've been using Windows tablets since the year 2002. I owned a tablet PC back then, and it never took off, so there is a compelling reason for Apple not to do it, given the amount of success the iPad has had, but then again, it is time for change. And Francesco says, I prefer OS X because without it, an iPad is just a bigger iPhone. I want to do with an iPad what I can do with a Mac, but maybe Apple think that this is the way for the MacBook Air to die. Yeah, I do agree with that. I do believe that there is a market out there for true professionals that would rather have a full computer operating system on a tablet. Then again, not so complex. I would love to have an iPad that would allow me to do more complex tasks, get my work done, and not have to carry a big computer around. But that's just me. Sadly, that's not the need for the average person. The average person only browses email, browses the web, watches videos. That's the reason why tablets have taken off. And Shobin says, haha, just a few months ago, all the Apple fans were saying that they don't want a PC on their tablets. First they laugh, then they follow. The iPad will never touch the Surface Pro. Yeah, I think you're right, but it's actually the other way around. Then on Wednesday I asked you, what did you think about the new HTC products that were announced, as we got the new HTC Re and the new HTC Desire Eye. We have 312 comments, out of which John Tigomao says, the Re is awesome, perfect for stalking, and why didn't I think of that? And Karthik says, why do you guys think that the HTC Desire phones are not good looking? They look really good to me, and you know, you're right. Sadly, we've had this perception that HTC Desire phones are entry-level or mid-tiered, but ever since the Desire 816, HTC has done an amazing job in build quality and design, only lesser specifications, but then again, not so lesser specs. These are actually good phones. I don't like the color choices for the Desire Eye, but I'm sure that HTC will fix that eventually, and we will be getting a much better option for the One M8. And then Rajan Brown says, HTC Re looks like an inhaler. And everybody's agreeing on that. You know, if you ask my personal opinion, I don't really like the Re, mainly because the reason why digital cameras took off was because of the viewfinder, because you could see the photos that you took at the moment that you took them. And the fact that even though you can with the Re, you require your smartphone to be doing a lot of things, that hassle around makes you wonder, why didn't they just build it a little bulkier and add a viewfinder? But that's really the only reason why I don't like the Re, by the way. Then on Thursday I asked you if you were the type that would buy extended warranty plans, as Samsung has already launched its plans for its flagship Galaxy phones at a very competitive price with the same options that you see with Apple Care Plus. We have 264 comments, out of which Darsham says, there is no need for them. Smartphones do not get damaged if you take care of them. Okay, I'm the type of guy that takes care of them, and I have dropped the Galaxy Nexus and smashed the display, and then it would cost me $250 to change the display for a smartphone that would cost $400 back then. So these plans do make sense. It doesn't matter how well you take care of your phones, there is still a possibility that you will drop them or that somebody else will drop them for you. And Sheldon Williams says, nope, if it's broken, I fix myself. A lot of people do this, and for some people it works, but this is really hit or miss. With products like an iPad, it doesn't matter what you do. If you replace that display, it never ends up well. I've had experiences in the past with the HTC Sensation. I replaced the display for a friend of mine, it never worked. I hired a professional, eventually it didn't work. Sadly, it is hit or miss depending on what you smash. And for a $200 to $250 price tag for a display or the full assembly for Galaxy phones, I would rather pay $100 up front and then pay $50 for the replacement and still save a couple of bucks and have a new smartphone and not just a replaced display. And Tom says, no, I spend $90 on an Autobox per server, and it's much better. I don't need a replacement for something that isn't broken. You like OtterBox, fabulous. Some people like LifeProof, great. I don't use cases, I hate them. For $90 for such a case, such bulk, I would rather not use a case, pay the $100, which is just the $10 premium, and carry my phone without a case and not worry about it. But again, that's my opinion. Great to hear yours. And finally, on Friday, I asked you if you agree with a recent study that says that Google Now is significantly better than Siri and Cortana, as the problem is that these tests were only conducted for web searches and not really for everything else you use a digital assistant. We have 455 comments, out of which Mike says, for reminders, calling, messaging, and searching, I find Google Now to be the best all around. Siri might have some other tricks and that I either don't know about or don't care to use, and well, here's the thing. There are some other tricks, and they are kind of cooler, but not necessarily. You have a good point there. There is a balance here. Google does do an amazing job when it comes to search. I hate the fact that Siri uses Bing and that Cortana uses Bing. So yeah, probably for your specific use case scenario, this is probably the best case. And another commenter says, Google sucks. Cortana is the best digital assistant. Michael Fisher will agree with you. A lot of people love Cortana. I feel that Cortana still has a little growing up to do, but it's barely less than a year old. So I'm going to give it to Microsoft for launching a very great product on day one. I do feel that they've done a good job so far, and they have a lot of promise. Then Rohan says, no doubt this was an unfair comparison. Cortana was supposed to lose on this one because it uses Bing. Bing don't work properly even if you spell it. Bing is compulsion and not by choice for Windows phones and Cortana too. And again, I tell you the same story about Siri. The biggest problem with Siri is that it uses Bing. It was great before, but then again, for me the biggest problem with the voice digital assistants is that I want them to do things without me to have to interact with the phone. So if I tell Google Now turn on Wi-Fi, it'll open the Wi-Fi menu, but it'll sadly not toggle to switch it on or off with most Android phones. And that's really why I like Siri. Sometimes I want hands-off to be fully hands-on, but then yeah, I can't call on Siri the same way I could call Google Now. So there is a lot of leeway here, a lot of opportunity with all digital assistants. I would not call any of them perfect. A lot of them have work to do, in my opinion. That's it for our Pocketnow Daily Recap. Thank you very much for watching. A couple of tips if you want your comments to be featured. Number 1, keep them short. Number 2, stick to the point. Number 3, try to get some thumbs up. It helps us spot them a lot easier. You can also follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week.